The Megalodon is rumored to be a monstrous shark, the biggest ever to exist. The prehistoric beast had a massive set of jaws and rows of razor-sharp teeth.
So here we have it with another one of those crazy paleontology videos that everybody is just going to be insane, to go insane about. Anyways, enjoy.
It also had a host of enemies, and none of them were human.
What do you expect? Humans didn't even exist when the Megalodon went extinct. Is this Moby Dick, the giant sperm whale that caused the sinking of a ship?
Most of these enemies wouldn't be keen to go toe-to-toe with the big beast, but they disliked them intensely. From the big bad Titanoboa to one of the earliest baleen whales, here are 15 biggest Megalodon enemies to ever exist.
Now, if I were to make the whole list itself, if I were you, I would just make the list just 1, Leviathan, 2, other Megalodons. That's pretty much it.
Number 15, Titanoboa.
Guys, I'm just going to skip Titanoboa and circle paleontology bingo for all stuff. This is the 200 trillionth time that the Titanoboa is mentioned in these crazy paleontology videos. Like, I've nothing wrong with it, but like, Titanoboa is just over-mentioned a lot. That's the thing that I liked about the Titanoboa part, by the way. It actually tried to go to the point, tried to go straight to the point, unlike most other paleo channels which just dodge the point like Brightside. However, I can't really say the same thing for literally every other statement of this video. I mean, some are still fine to this day, but others are just not good.
Number 14, Cetotherium.
The only thing I could say is Cetotherium is actual Megalodon meat.
The Cetotherium, or whale beast, is believed to be one of the earliest members of the Cetotheridae family.
The paleontology bingo is filling up fast. We now have 4 out of 16, which is really cool.
Commonly referred to as baleen whales, these mammoth ocean dwellers.
These guys look more like sperm whales than baleen whales
Were thought to have gone extinct during the Pliocene. In 2012, experts discovered that the pygmy right whale might be the sole surviving species of the Cetotherium's family. These predators had pointed teeth for catching and killing other marine creatures, such as fish and even other mammals, including large sharks like the Megalodon.
The finest never ceases to amaze me on how insane. Okay, to be fair, Cetotherium could probably, theoretically, eat Megalodon bodies, but that's pretty much it.
Unfortunately, this spot in the ocean is considered dangerous, especially due to the gigantic predators lurking below.
For example, the Megalodon.
One of those predators was the Meg. Some fossils of these whales have shown compression damage to the vertebra. This strongly suggests that these massive apex predators rammed into the belly of the whale at high speed.
It's supposed to do that, you know. Predators have to target the prey's weak points and then actually kill them effectively in order to actually be effective predators,
damaging the vertebra, and we can only imagine what happened next. Number 13, Leviathan. 65 million years ago, the dinosaur became extinct.
This section is fine. My only changes I would make are change it to 66 million years ago and say non-avian dinosaurs instead of just dinosaurs.
From then, the biggest animals on Earth were confined to the ocean, with some of the largest aquatic creatures known to man lurking in the deep, dark depths.
I should have seen that Moby Dick scene coming. Like, Leviathan is a giant sperm whale, and Moby Dick is also a giant sperm whale, so Leviathan is technically a giant sperm whale, despite not being a modern sperm whale itself. I guess Moby Dick makes sense in this regard, but, you know, just Moby Dick every time.
One of those was the Leviathan, an enormous prehistoric sperm whale, said to rival the size of the star of the blockbuster The Meg.
Oh, the Leviathan and Megalodon could battle each other out. Megalodon could perhaps win a little bit more times, actually.
This whale measured 50 feet long and weighed 50 tons. In comparison, the Megalodon is estimated to have measured up to 70 feet long and weighed over 60 tons.
70 feet is just makes Megalodon super hollow at 60 tons. Megalodon would have probably died of starvation already in that case. Anyways,
so it was one monster shark. Experts believe that during the mid-Miocene epoch, these two behemoths briefly overlapped.
you mean during the late Miocene? Because Leviathan started existing not even 10 million years ago.
Meaning they shared the same territory. Where it possibly had the occasional scrap with a Meg.
This is in fact a possibility, given that Megalodon and Leviathan lived in the same lived at the same time and possibly coexisted with each other, therefore possibly competed with each other.
Apparently, its teeth were longer and thicker than those of the enormous shark, and it had a bigger brain. So, in a battle of wits, the Leviathan might have come out on top.
They're more than likely neck at neck, leaning slightly towards the Megalodon with high difficulty.
Who knows? Number 12. Zygophyseter verali.
Like the Cetotherium, the Zygophyseter is more than likely Megalodon prey.
An extinct sperm whale that lived between 11.2 and 7.6 million years ago during the Tortonian age of the late Miocene may have resembled the modern-day killer whale.
Still showing regular old sperm whales instead of actual killer whales.
It measured up to 23 feet long and was a member of a stem group of fossil macroraptorial sperm whales, including the enormous Leviathan.
Leviathan is just mainstream syndrome for the Leviathan. Anyways,
like the Leviathan, this sperm whale had huge teeth, and unlike the modern sperm whale, these teeth were functional in both the upper and lower jaws.
I thought it was gonna have an awkward cut like this, but instead it's just my computer, and it's not really my computer, it's just me just messing around, flickering about.
A fact I imagine these prehistoric giants found extremely handy, given the many other dangerous inhabitants in the ocean at that time.
I'm not being a toxic Megalodon fan, but Megalodon did coexist with Zygophyseter, so Megalodon could have just eaten Zygophyseter, killed it.
One of those was, of course, the Megalodon. Smaller than the Leviathan, the Zygophyseter verali might have been no match for the massive Meg.
That is exactly why it's not going to be an enemy of Megalodon, when the Zygophyseter is just an actual prey of Megalodon.
But it was tougher than the sperm whales we see today. The male of the species, however, may have been significantly larger than the Zygophyseter, measuring up to 26 feet long.
Still no match for the Megalodon will just absolutely demolish it.
Considering this sperm whale was half the size of the Meg at best, its only hope of survival would have been avoiding its razor-sharp teeth and incredible bite force. Number 11. Brygmophyseter.
Poor Brygmophyseter from Jurassic Fight Club. At least a bunch of Brygmophyseters managed to, you know, quote-unquote, rupture the Megalodon's organs because they rammed the Megalodon a bazillion times. I said quote-unquote because in reality the organs would have actually ruptured. But in Jurassic Fight Club, the Megalodon walked away unscathed.
Better known as the biting sperm whale, the Brygmophyseter is part of the extinct toothed whale species. This species included the Acrophyseter, Leviathan, and the Zygophyseter, and all have enamel-coated teeth in both their upper and lower jaws.
This guy is just incredibly clueless on how taxonomy works. Toothed whales are a parv order called Odontoceti.
Since Brygmophyseter was published first, Nothosaurus becomes a junior synonym.
Oh my god, is that the announcer from BFDI? Announcer makes... I don't know what announcer's sound is, what announcer's text-to-speech is, but I don't know. Can someone please tell me again? I forgot.
The skeleton of just one specimen of Brygmophyseter whale has been found. After examining it, experts believe it may have existed around 14 to 15 million years ago, possibly the same time as the Megalodon.
Okay, so Jurassic Fight Club's Brygmophyseter is incredibly oversized. That is why a bunch of them could rupture Megalodon's internal organs. Here, Brygmophyseter in reality is much shorter and much smaller. So the Megalodon is going to absolutely demolish even a group of them.
A mid-sized whale measuring just 23 feet at best, it would have been no match for the Meg. In fact, the Meg is believed to have been a specialist when it came to hunting and killing whales. I mean, it would take a fair amount of food to curb the huge beast's hunger, wouldn't you say? Still, the sperm whale was an apex predator of the time, with its large teeth used to catch and kill struggling prey.
As crazy as it sounds, they are actually apex predators,
including other whales. Not much is known about its hunting behavior, but like other sperm whales, it may have been able to use echolocation to find its prey. Let's hope this beacon worked in reverse and warned them of approaching predators. Number 10. Aulophyseter.
It's called an Aulophyseter, which is described in 1927. It is a little bit obscure, so first mention of Aulophyseter in one of those paleontology videos once again. First mention, so fairly underrated. I'll give it that.
A predatory sperm whale, the Aulophyseter is believed to have called the ocean home in the Miocene period 6 million years ago. Now extinct, the Aulophyseter's distant relatives have some of the same characteristics. It's likely, however, that they probably had a more diverse diet. The Aulophyseter is believed to have reached lengths of approximately 6 meters long.
Judging by its structure, it's also going to be the prey of Megalodon. Look, guys, I said it like one time, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm not trying to fan over the Megalodon. I'm just speaking from an objective, whatchamacallit, from an objective perspective, yeah. That's a little bit hard to think about.
And weighed up to 2,400 pounds. Fossil evidence suggests the whale may have even met one of the main predators of the Miocene period, the Megalodon.
Megalodon enemy. Could you say these prey are Megalodon enemies? Like, could they just compete with Megalodon for food sources, or do they just fall prey to the Megalodon itself?
The giant prehistoric shark would have made quite the opponent for the significantly smaller Aulophyseter. However, both may not have survived dropping sea levels and the resulting closure of the Central American Seaway. As sea levels dropped, the Isthmus of Panama was created, effectively sealing off the migratory route between North and South America, effectively killing many species of prehistoric whales and the predators that preyed on them.
At least this guy knows how ecology works. Kind of. Whatever, just get back into the video.
Including the Meg. Number 9. Rhamphosuchus. The Rhamphosuchus, which I couldn't find out how to pronounce anywhere, is thought to have been one of the prehistoric Megalodon shark's many enemies.
It's a fairly big crocodilian, but still no match against the Megalodon. It would probably give the Megalodon a little bit more difficult of a fight, but that's all it could offer, really, compared to stuff like the Aulophyseter, right? Is that, from what I remember?
Experts believe it resembled the modern-day false gharial, a freshwater crocodilian that is part of the Gavialidae family, commonly known as the beak crocodile.
Beak crocodile is what gave Rhamphosuchus its name. It is more like a gharial, or a false gharial.
The Rhamphosuchus lived during the Miocene period. Fossils found in the Siwalik Hills of Pakistan and India, as well as the Sindh region of Pakistan, has paleontologists estimating it was one of the largest crocodilians that ever lived.
At least the dude said one of the largest instead of the largest. This is acceptable compared to saying the largest. At least that is the case anyway for me.
Measuring almost 60 feet long and weighing up to 20 tons.
Given the Rhamphosuchus' anatomy, I doubt that Rhamphosuchus could even reach 20 tons. This is another one of those ridiculous estimates, sorry. Actually, no, I should count this as an outdated estimate, because 60 feet is outdated. Believe it or not, it's just 59 feet at max. 60 feet is acceptable at the outdated range, outdated area. Not ridiculous, by the way.
The Rhamphosuchus would have made quite the opponent for the Meg. In fact, it would have been the side, given it's pretty much the same size. And we all know this is reptiles, the prehistoric ones. Compared to modern day cross, the Rhamphosuchus is very large now, but their distribution was pretty much the same. Rhamphosuchus are only eating fish, not small size. In their size, these large reptiles would have no issue capturing and devouring larger prey. Perhaps even the Meg could have been on the menu. Who knows? Number 8. Giant octopus.
Does a giant octopus make sense over here in this list? Or is the Megalodon going to just kill it, like crush it, slice it all open, and make all of its insides come out? Unless if the giant octopus you're talking about is the Kraken, which probably has, that has a 10% chance of you talking about the Kraken by the looks of it.
This enormous aquatic creature is believed to have lived many millions of years ago, before the Pleistocene Ice Age, and featured in the 2009 Asylum film Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus.
That is literally a movie. Are you going to use it to justify giant octopus being an enemy of Megalodon? Giant Pacific octopus, more specifically. And giant Pacific octopus first appeared after Megalodon went extinct, so being an enemy of Megalodon, that's out of the question.
Including one that was given the name St. Augustine monster. Described as globsters, they are not to be confused with the known giant Pacific octopus.
And what sort of thing is this? A globster, a blob. Unidentified organic mass. Octopus giganteus. Not valid names. This is absolutely... I have no idea what's going on. Like... What am I supposed to say about this type of statement? Like, I'm genuinely shocked.
The Pacific octopus can grow to lengths of up to 20 feet, and the giant octopus is said to be even larger. We could only imagine how a real-life matchup between the Megalodon and the massive octopus would play out, but you can bet it would include a splattering of ink. The giant octopus squirts at its enemies as a defense mechanism, creating a cloud in the water that heavily hampers visibility. No doubt a handy tool for an octopus trying to escape, wouldn't you say? Number 7. Dunkleosteus.
Dunkleosteus is another one of those animals that is mentioned 200 trillion times, so I'm going to skip the segment of the video and just summarize it. So again, like most other parts of the video, it's just a bunch of fact yapping. The dude mentions a medieval battlefield for whatever reason, and also uses an outdated estimate, like the 28.8 feet long estimate for Dunkleosteus. That's definitely outdated. But the thing that caught my eye the most is that the guy said Dunkleosteus may have had an occasional sparring match with the Megalodon. That statement is just incredibly and utterly ridiculous. Absolutely insane, and I have no idea how that got out of his mouth. I'm glad that you all don't have to hear him say that. You all have to hear me say that.
Number 6. Great White Shark.
Oh, so it's more like outcompeting the Megalodon in food source. Okay.
When it comes to sea creatures, few strike fear in humans more than the great white shark. The ultimate predator of the seas, it measures between 15 and 20 feet long and generally weighs up to 5,000 pounds.
One comment about those Megalodon videos is that most of them just mention a lot of animals that can't really beat the Megalodon, like trying to use other methods to be Megalodon's enemy.
Made famous on the big screen back in 1975 when we were introduced to Jaws, this huge shark has gained quite the reputation for being a vicious predator. Experts believe it's a reputation they may not deserve. They're not actually a mindless killing machine, but they do tend to attack first and ask questions later.
It's just another one of those crazy treating animals like if they're bloodthirsty monsters classic trope that everybody just keeps on falling to.
The earliest known fossils of these sharks are about 16 million years old, which means they existed during the mid-Miocene epoch. This fact has them possibly going fin to fin with the Megalodon that lived during the early Miocene to the Pliocene.
The great white shark existed first in Miocene, late Miocene, but it could possibly have been early Miocene. Even then, even in the late Miocene, it still could have encountered a Megalodon.
I wonder how that meeting played out. Number 5. Thalassemedon. This long-necked marine reptile is among the largest elasmosaurid plesiosaur. Fossils suggest that the average Thalassemedon measured over 35 feet long, but a larger skull of the species has some reaching up to 38 feet.
If you pluck in an 11.6 meter long UNSM 50132 Thalassemedon, it's going to have its neck be cut in half by the Megalodon, basically. There's basically no chance that Thalassemedon could get out alive if it were to encounter such a huge Megalodon shark.
The smallest measures less than 3.3 feet long. However, the largest specimen, nicknamed Bruce, reached just over 43 feet. Apex predators like the Tylosaurus and the Megalodon too would have caused problems for the Thalassemedon.
Neither of them coexisted with the Thalassemedon. The Thalassemedon went extinct 93.5 million years ago. The Tylosaurus first lived 92.1 million years ago. About 92 million years ago. Just over 1 million years after the Thalassemedon went extinct. So the Thalassemedon and Tylosaurus did not meet each other, let alone Megalodon.
Including competition for existing fish stocks. With the increasing danger of bigger and better predators, life for the Thalassemedon can't have been easy. Number 4. Orca, the killer whale.
I don't know about you, but this looks like if some sort of movie is dedicated to Orca is made.
The orca is not preyed on by any other animal. It is one of 35 species in the oceanic dolphin family and first appeared about 11 million years ago in the Neogene period.
It first appeared in the Pliocene, and I was scared there because I thought that you were going to say except Megalodon. However, nothing happened.
The Miocene was the first geological epoch of this period, and if the history books are correct, the Megalodon also roamed the ocean at this time. Whether these two met is a question only they can answer, but you can bet it would have been a battle of wits rather than of power.
Is Orca, aka the killer whale, is still super small compared to the Megalodon, and is it going to be the same case as the great white shark, in which out-competing the Megalodon in terms of food source and all that?
A male orca can weigh as much as 5,400 kilograms and measure 9.6 meters long. But the Meg was believed to be larger, possibly measuring between 20 and 25 meters long.
25 meters long is just incredibly stupid, and just, I have no idea why that blasted out of his mouth.
And weighing in at a whopping 205,000 pounds. If that's true, then the Meg could have been bigger than the blue whale.
205,000 pounds is not even 100 tons. Blue whale is at least double that of 205,000 pounds.
Now that's an opponent no animal in their right mind should take on, least of all the orca, don't you think? Number 3. Lion's mane jellyfish.
The problem with lion mane jellyfish is that lion mane jellyfish, even though it has the longest tentacles out of any creature alive, lion mane jellyfish's entire body just is super small in proportion compared to the tentacles. Super short, sorry. And it's just going to be gobbled by the Megalodon in one go. That is called a bell. The lion mane jellyfish's bell had a diameter of 7 feet only, 210 centimeters, which is just... it's just going to be gobbled in one shot by Megalodon, gobbled in one bite.
What looks like a bunch of hair floating around the ocean is a jellyfish. The lion's mane jellyfish, to be exact. Often referred to as simply the giant jellyfish or hair jelly, it is the biggest living jellyfish in the world.
I'd call it the longest because lion mane jellyfish's bell feels incredibly small, feels incredibly light, and therefore small and can't really be measured in mass. Like, its size, size is determined by mass. Lion mane jellyfish feels light and therefore feels small, even though its tentacles are super long.
Stretching a whopping 36.5 meters from the top to the bottom of its tentacles.
Up to 8 feet wide, this is the world's largest jellyfish.
Now that's impressive. The dense mass of long, dangling tentacles resemble a lion's mane, hence the name. Not only is it believed to be the longest and biggest jellyfish known to man, the jellyfish is also a contender for the longest animal of all time.
So far, there isn't anything that I could think of that could compete with lion mane jellyfish in length. Not even Argentinosaurus.
Even longer than the blue whale and the prehistoric Megalodon. Number 2. Nothosaurus. Fossilized remains of this semi-oceanic reptile have been found throughout North Africa, southwestern and eastern Asia, and especially Europe.
And you just showed plesiosaurs. When you're showing, when you're trying to talk about Nothosaurus, don't just try and, oh my god, don't just try and, what should I say again? Don't just try to, show plesiosaurs when talking about Nothosaurus, yeah.
Nothosaurs were calling the ocean home when the first dinosaurs were beginning to walk the earth.
Okay, so the thing is, the first dinosaurs appeared while the Nothosaurus is still in the oceans, just trying to predate, of course.
They were fish hunters and weren't fully adapted to life in the water. In fact, some had clawed feet, so may have come ashore to rest. Their amazingly long and needle-sharp teeth would have made them quite the predator too. Certainly not one to be messed with.
The dude is not even saying why the Nothosaurus is supposedly an enemy of Megalodon. This video just progressively becomes worse over time. God.
Number 1. The giant oceanic manta ray.
Even the biggest of these guys are just going to be Megalodon food.
The manta ray is the world's biggest ray, with the giant oceanic manta ray the heftiest. From wingtip to wingtip, it can measure 7 meters and weigh as much as 2 tons.
The maximum it could go is 9 meters in length, a disc size of 7 meters, well, a disc width of some sort, I guess, of 7 meters, with the mass around 3 tons.
The reef manta isn't a lot smaller either. Fortunately, their immense size is a bit of a turnoff for most predators, except, of course, large sharks and orcas.
Okay, so this is a little bit better, given that it probably did meet Megalodon when it existed.
These are known to hunt the docile plankton eaters, and may have been joined by the Megalodon at some point. The giant oceanic manta ray is believed to have evolved about 20 million years ago, so the possibility of these two giants meeting up somewhere in the middle of the ocean isn't as far-fetched as you might think.
But one giant is like a bazillion times bigger than the other. And the bazillion times bigger giant is going to absolutely demolish and chomp the other one into a bazillion bits.
I mean, the Meg lived approximately 3.6 to 23 million years ago, so if the history books are accurate, they were both roaming the ocean together at one point. How the altercation would have played out is anyone's guess, but the giant manta wouldn't have made things easy. In fact, it's highly possible it would have pulled a disappearing act. Yes, the manta is known for disappearing in the face of danger at speeds of up to 24 kilometers an hour.
So it has quite a bunch of velocity at 24 kilometers per hour of escape speed. That a lot of that. Basically, no one could actually kill the giant oceanic manta ray. Even large sharks and killer whales are going to just hurt it and not kill it. Quite possibly Megalodon, but like Megalodon is big and Megalodon has a super powerful bite force. Could the giant oceanic manta ray be able to escape the same way as it did with other large sharks, the great hammerhead, the tiger shark, and some killer whales?
Impressive, don't you think? Can you imagine hanging out in an all-you-can-eat buffet and someone swoops in and eats all the goodies? That would be annoying, wouldn't it? Well, that's probably what it was like many years ago when the oceans were home to Megalodon. It's no wonder they weren't the most popular creature in the sea, and their list of enemies is longer than you would imagine. These guys were literally at the top of the food chain. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.
So we have a diagonal bingo this time around. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. See you all next time.